Good afternoon. This is the regularly scheduled Community Development and Regulatory Services meeting. The date is May 17th, 2016. My name is Jacob Fry. I'm the chair of this committee, and I'm joined by a quorum, including council members Cano, Quincy, and Reich. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. On our agenda for today, we have 24 items, and I will note that if anybody would like to comment on any of the public hearings, if you could please sign up with the clerk, and she should have a list over there for you. So items 11 through 23 are on consent, and I will briefly read through. 11 is licenses and consumer services agenda, granting business licenses recommended for approval. 12 is a license settlement conference with Ice House. Number 13 is a rental dwelling license conditions stipulated agreement. I will note that we're joined by Councilmember Warsami. 14 is another rental dwellings license agreement for 2718 Hayes Street Northeast. 15 is a rental dwelling license condition stipulated agreement for 3101 Queen Avenue North. 16 is a contract amendment with Blue Sky Veterinary Services for in-kind veterinary care at Minneapolis Animal Care and Control. 17 is a contract amendment with Dr. Camille McCardle for veterinary services. 18, which is through CPED, is a fiscal year 2015 emergency solutions grant and services funding recommendations. This is approving up to $310,627 of fiscal year 2015 ESG funds for rapid rehousing, and authorizing contract documents with the organizations receiving the ESG funds. 19 is a modification of the West Lowry Avenue redevelopment plan. 20 is exclusive development rights being awarded to the Minneapolis Public Housing Authority for development of the Minnehaha townhomes. 21 is the contract for Minnesota Home Ownership Center for counseling and administrative services. 22 is the exclusive development rights to Wellington Management, Inc. for development of the Capri block on West Broadway. And 23 is a lease of city-owned land to West Broadway Business Area Coalition at 2034 West Broadway. Are there any comments or questions regarding items 11 through 23? Would anybody like to pull anything? Seeing none, I will move those items, 11 through 23. All those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. That passes. Now, moving forward to a series of public hearings, we have several land sales. The first is a land sale at 2953 Pierce Street Northeast. And this is to Justin Daniel Larson and Christian Ann Larson. I believe Mr. Pettiford is here to present. Mr. Pettiford.
Good afternoon, Chairman. The property is located at 2953 Pierce Street Northeast. It's a property that was acquired through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. CPED, the city, acquired this property January 16th from Gimmick for $35,900. As a vacant parcel, it's a 50 by 125 R1A zoned vacant lot. Staff marketed the lot for the appraised value and received a full priced offer. Justin and Christine Larson were the only proposers, and they proposed to build a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, single-family home with a double-car detached garage for their own occupancy. Again, this was the only offer that was received. It's a quality offer. The Larsons and I met with the Audubon Neighborhood Association, and the Neighborhood Association and staff recommend this proposal. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Pettiford. Are there any questions? No. Thank you, Mr. Pettiford.
Thank you.
I will now open the public hearing for the land sale of 2953 Pierce Street Northeast. Is anybody here to speak to this item? Is anybody here to speak to this item? Seeing that nobody is here to speak to this item, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of this item.
Councilmember Reich has moved approval of this item. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. That item passes. Item number 2 is a land sale of 3338 Upton Avenue North, and I believe Ms. Kimball is here to present.
Chair Fry, members of the committee, 3338 Upton Avenue North is a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. Policies were established for the program by the City Council on December 11th, 2015. This property was acquired on October 23rd, 2015 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $2,000. Staff marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual, and we recommend sale to Alicia Barovich for the appraised value of $18,000. This is a vacant structure. It was constructed in 1922. It's 1,544 square feet, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. The applicant intends to rehabilitate it as a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home and retain it as a rental, according to her application. She proposes to invest $48,750 to rehabilitate the property. Our construction management staff reviewed the scope of work and the estimate that was provided and found that it would be consistent with the minimum standards required by the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. 2 open houses were held for the property in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750. This was the only application that was received. We provided notification to the Cleveland Neighborhood Association, and we received comments from 3 residents of the Cleveland neighborhood. Joanne Gracis at 3400 Upton Avenue North, Lynn Lean at 3347 Upton Avenue North, and Anita Lindgren, who didn't provide her address. All 3 of the residents expressed concern about the property becoming a rental property due to a history of problem rentals in the area. Alicia Barovich was notified of the community concerns both by staff and by the Cleveland Neighborhood Association, and has expressed that in response to the concerns, she will change her intention to end occupancy of the property to sale for owner occupancy. No formal statement of support or concern was received from the Cleveland Neighborhood Association. Alicia is present today and available to answer questions any members of the CDRS committee may have. And I'll take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Kimball. Excellent presentation. Any questions for Ms. Kimball? Thank you. I will open the public hearing for 3338 Upton Avenue North. Is there anybody here to speak to this item? Please come forward and state your name and address.
My name is Alicia Barovich of 4309 Clemson Circle, and I am proposing purchasing 3338 Upton Avenue North to renovate the property and bring it up to code. This will include replacing and or repairing mechanical systems, drywall, windows, vanities, plumbing fixtures, and flooring. To improve energy efficiency, we will also add insulation wherever feasible. The garage is currently unusable, so we will tear it down and replace it. We will repair any concrete steps in front and behind the house where possible, and otherwise replace them. We'll clean, paint, and patch the basement to make it more livable, though not finished space. We will also install a new kitchen along with appliances. We heard that some of the neighborhood expressed concerns about turning this property into a rental unit, and we've heard these concerns about rental properties being difficult to manage, and in turn often reducing the value of the house and the neighborhood as a whole. As someone who has worked her whole life in philanthropy, I respect the mission of the program with the City of Minneapolis to improve the quality of life for North Minneapolis, and we do not want to hinder the success of the program or the growth of your neighborhood. We have put serious thought into reconsidering if we should rent or sell the property once we are done with renovations. We have some experience in the rental business, but have never managed rentals ourselves before. For these reasons, we have decided to listen to the concerns and have decided to sell. We do hope to participate again in this program in the future, as it is an excellent opportunity for investors like us to improve the community of North Minneapolis. To that end, we will demonstrate our dedication to the concept behind this program by ensuring the home is beautifully finished, making it inviting to a good family to purchase and become part of the community. Any questions?
Ms. Barovich, thank you for your $48,000 plus investment in the home, and thank you also for listening to the concerns of the community and making it owner occupied. Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else here to speak to this item? Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move approval of item number 2, the land sale.
Councilmember Quincy has moved approval of item number 2, the land sale. Any discussion on the topic? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no, and that item passes. Item number 3, which is land sale 3449 Lyndale Avenue North. Ms. Kimball.
This is also a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. This property was acquired on January 29th, 2016 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. Staff marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the Vacant Housing Recycling Program Manual and recommends sale to Hawkeye Real Estate Investments for its appraised value of $30,000. This is also a vacant structure. It was constructed in 1922. It's 2,302 square feet, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. Hawkeye intends to rehabilitate it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and retain it as a rental, and will invest $68,680 to rehabilitate the property. Again, our construction management staff reviewed the scope of work and concluded that it would meet the minimum rehabilitation standards of the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. Hawkeye Real Estate Investment currently owns 11 additional rental properties in the city of Minneapolis, and staff consulted with regulatory services prior to making this recommendation. Hawkeye has met the responsibility criteria of the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. 2 open houses were held for this property in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750 people. There were 2 applications that were received. Benjamin Properties LLC is not recommended because their extent of rehab was less significant and the developer had less experience and financial capacity than the recommended applicant. Notification was provided to the McKinley neighborhood. I'll take any questions at this time.
Are there any questions for Ms. Kimball? Seeing none, thank you. I will open the public hearing for the land sale of 3449 Lyndale Avenue North. Anybody here to speak to this one? Anybody? Anybody want to speak to this one? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move approval of this item.
Councilmember Reich has moved approval of this item. Any discussion on the topic? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no, and that item passes. Item number 4 is a land sale 3506 Colfax Avenue North. Ms. Kimball.
This is also a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. This property was acquired on October 23rd, 2015 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. We marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual and recommend sale to Homes Minnesota LLC for the appraised value of $14,000. This is a vacant structure that was constructed in 1906. It's a 1,830 square foot house that's 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. Homes Minnesota recommends rehabilitating the property as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath single-family home and intends to sell for owner occupancy. They're going to be investing $104,371 to rehabilitate the property. Our construction management staff reviewed the scope of work and the estimates and concluded that it would meet the minimum standards of the program. 2 open houses were held for this property in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750. There were 2 applications that were received. Ms. Barovich, who we recommended for purchase of 3338 Upton, was the other applicant. She is not recommended for this property because her rehabilitation proposal was for a less intensive proposal. She had less experience, and her intention for occupancy was rental when there was a competing offer for home ownership. Notification was provided to the McKinley neighborhood. However, no comments were received. Dan Briskin from Homes Minnesota LLC is present today and available to answer questions that members of the committee may have. I'll take any questions at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Kimball? Thank you. I will open the public hearing for the land sale of 3506 Colfax Avenue North. Anybody here to speak to this item? Come forward on this side. You give it to the clerk, and then she can pass it around for us.
So my name is Dan Briskin. I'm from Holmes, Minnesota.
If you could just repeat that again into the mic, sorry. Yeah.
My name is Dan Briskin. I'm from Holmes, Minnesota LLC. First of all, I would like to thank you for support on our previous proposals. And here is a little slide deck about us. We work with Inspire Architects. Our engineering is provided by Hansen Group. We have recently completed work on 3410 Colfax, which was a vacant building just down the street from proposed structure. And this is the before and after pictures. Down below is another house we have completed, which is and sold to an owner occupant at 414 30th Avenue North. And basically, we live and die by our reputation. We operate on the strength of our team. Our team has well over 150 years of experience in remodeling. We like what we do and we take pride in our work. We understand the quality housing attracts quality residents. We did go to McKinley and we did get the support from a neighborhood association. However, the paperwork hasn't been submitted on time. We do provide both jobs and quality housing in Minneapolis. We do employ North Side residents, and that's basically what we do, and that's who we are. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Briskin. You're clearly not messing around. This is an excellent presentation, and the sink in its former status versus the sink in the newer status is much nicer. So thank you.
And also on this deck, one of the houses we are working on, which went through ECPAT program, and it has a little status update on it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else here to speak to this item? Anyone else here to speak to this item? Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd be happy to move item number, is it 4,
Yes.
The land sale for approval.
Councilmember Quincy has moved item number 4 for approval. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. That item passes. Item number 5 is a land sale of 3746 Logan Avenue North to Hang Tough Building and Investment. I thought Hang Tough was actually the individual's name, but clearly it's not. Ms. Kimball.
This is Chair Fry, members of the committee. This is also a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program as established by the City Council on December 11th, 2015. This property was acquired on December 30th, 2015 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. Staff marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual and recommends sale to Hang Tough Building and Investing LLC for its appraised value of $1,000. And if Hang Tough fails to close, then sale to DBH Homes for $1,000. This is a vacant structure that was constructed in 1940. It's 2,128 square feet and a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. Hang Tough intends to rehabilitate it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and sell it for ownership, and will invest $97,150 to rehabilitate the property. DBH Homes intends to rehabilitate the property as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and sell for home ownership, and will invest $110,000 to rehabilitate the property. Again, our construction management staff reviewed both scopes of work and determined that they would meet the minimum standards of the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. When we evaluated these applications, frankly, Hang Tough and DBH Homes were, the two proposals were virtually tied. We are making the recommendation that Hang Tough purchase the property because they're a new developer through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. DBH Homes is also a relatively new developer that was recommended for 2 properties at the April 19th CDRS meeting. Two open houses were held for the property in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750 people. There were 6 applications received total. The additional applications that we are not recommending were from New Image Construction and Remodeling LLC, Hawkeye Real Estate Investments, Taihan LLC, and Auspicious Living LLP. The remaining applications are not recommended for one or more of the following reasons. Extent of rehab was less significant than the recommended purchasers. The occupancy intention was not for homeownership when there was competing proposals. The developer had less experience or financial capacity. Notification was provided to the Falwell neighborhood. Con Hang from Hang Tough is present and available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kimball. Are there any questions for Ms. Kimball? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? So, please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is King Heng. I'm the manager of the Heng Tuff Building Company here, and I live at 8448 Kentucky Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota here. And I'm gonna go over a little bit. Hopefully, you guys give me a little bit of time here to just go over our company. We're fairly new. Myself is in this industry for at least almost 14 years at the moment. I started after graduation college. I've been doing a lot of new constructions, especially larger homes in the west side of Twin Cities here with SK the Architect and MS&I Building Company. Our goals to come up with this company is to, there are 2 main goals that we are trying to achieve. The first really important goal is to give the opportunity to the disadvantaged fields of the minorities that we underrepresent in this community. So our goal is to give the jobs to the community members that are minorities that are disadvantaged. Number 2 is to help out with this to open up the doors to the minorities to open more business in the community. So our goal is just to not to make a lot of money, but to get jobs so that minorities people can go into do this kind of work. I realize that in this industry, there's just so much opportunity for minorities to go and do it, which is this kind of work required minimum amount of skills and educations. But when I was in a job, I hardly see people come out to apply for this kind of work. In the company that I'm working with, there are numbers of people down there. I'm the only minority person that doing this kind of work with a luxury home. So I open up for that, trying to open up for the opportunity. Regarding the 3746 Logan Avenue North, our goal is clear, is to, first of all, is to be able to create jobs for the minorities people. The second goal is to make the house quality living. It's a little bit above and beyond the city's requirement. We found out that the requirement through the city is very minimal, and it's lack a lot of the essential items that need to go into a house. Based on my experience with luxury homes, I come to realize that energy code and windows and like bathrooms and kitchens are very, very important. But almost every house that I walk through, as far as the city, all the houses city already approved, I found that most of them are under the, I would say, efficiency level of occupancy. So,
Mr. Hang, you're doing great, but if you could move it along a little bit because we got a long agenda.
Yes. So our goal is just to achieve that, and thank you so much. If you guys have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hang. Appreciate it. I don't see any questions. Anyone here that further wants to speak? Anyone else here to speak? Anyone else? You're all set, Mr. Hang. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move approval of this item.
Councilmember Quincy has moved approval of item number 5, land sale 3746 Logan Avenue North. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Item number 6 is a land sale 3822 Lyndale Avenue North. Ms. Kimball.
Chair Fry, members of the committee, this is a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program as established by the City Council on December 11th, 2015. This property was acquired on November 20th, 2015 from the state of Minnesota for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. Staff marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual and recommends sale to A Vision LLC for the appraised value of $29,000. The property was constructed in 1900. It's 2,808 square feet, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. A-Vision intends to rehabilitate it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and sell for ownership, and will invest $76,100 to rehabilitate the property. Construction management staff reviewed the scope of work and estimate and concluded that it would meet the minimum rehabilitation standards of the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. 2 open houses were held for this property in March, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750. There were 3 applications that were received. Additional applications were from DBH Homes LLC and Peter Mutua. DBH Homes withdrew their application during the staff review process, and Peter Mutua is not recommended for the following reasons. Extent of rehab was less significant than the recommended purchaser. Occupancy intention was for rental when there is a competing offer for homeownership, and the developer had less experience or financial capacity. Notification was provided to the Camden neighborhood. I'll take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Kimball. Any questions? Thank you. I will now open the public hearing for the land sale of 3822 Lyndale Avenue North. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Anyone here to speak to this item? Anyone here to speak? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Warsami.
Sorry. Thank you, Chair Fry. I happily move this item.
Councilmember Warsami has moved item number 6, a land sale of 3822 Lyndale Avenue North. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. That item passes. Item number 7 is a land sale for 4318 James Avenue North. Ms. Kimball.
Again, this is a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. This property was acquired on January 29th, 2016 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. We marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual and recommend sale to Ibiza LLC for the appraised value of $26,000. This is a vacant structure that was constructed in 1914. It's 1,612 square feet and is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. Ibiza LLC intends to rehabilitate it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and sell for homeownership. He will be investing $78,500 to rehabilitate the property. Our construction management staff reviewed the scope of work and estimates and concluded it would meet the minimum standards of the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. 2 open houses were held in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750. This was the only application received for this property, and notification was provided to the Camden neighborhood. Alexei Derivienko is present today and available to answer questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kimball. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing for the land sale 4318 James Avenue North. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Anyone here to speak? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilmember Kano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move this item forward.
Councilmember Kano has moved approval of item number 7. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. Item number 8 is a land sale 4826 Gerard Avenue North. Ms. Kimball again. Might as well just get up, down, do aerobics class out there.
Again, this is a sale through the Vacant Housing Recycling Program. This property was acquired on November 13th, 2015 from the state of Minnesota as tax forfeited land for $1 through a negotiated discount with Hennepin County. Staff marketed and reviewed applications in accordance with the VHRP manual and recommend sale to Homes Minnesota LLC for the appraised value of $34,000. And if Homes Minnesota fails to close, then sale to Prima Land Incorporated for $34,000. This is a vacant structure. It was constructed in 1925. It's 1,608 square feet and is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home. Homes Minnesota LLC intends to rehabilitate it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home and sell for ownership, and will invest $102,281 to rehabilitate the property. Prima Land intends to rehabilitate as a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home and sell for home ownership, and will invest $109,500 to rehabilitate the property. Construction management staff reviewed the applications, the scope of work and estimates received, and concluded they met the minimum rehabilitation standards of the program. Homes Minnesota LLC is recommended as the purchaser because their application demonstrated stronger financial capacity than Prima Land's application. 2 open houses were held for the property in March 2016, and notification was sent to a listserv of 750. There were 3 applications total that were received. The additional application that is not recommended was from Justin Jacobs. Justin Jacobs is not recommended for the following reasons. Extent of rehab was less significant than the recommended purchasers, or the developer had less experience in financial capacity. Notification was provided to the Lynn Bohannon neighborhood, and they support Homes Minnesota LLC as the purchaser. Dan Briskin, again, from Homes Minnesota LLC, is present today and available to answer any questions if there are any. I'll take any questions at this time.
Any questions for staff? Thank you. I will open the public hearing for the land sale of 4826 Girard Avenue North. Anyone here to speak to this item? Anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing that nobody's here to speak to this item, I'm going to close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll move approval of this item.
Councilmember Quincy has moved approval of item number 8. Is there any discussion on this topic? Seeing none, all those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. And item number 8 passes. Item number 9 is approving an application for an off-sale liquor Class E with Sunday sales license to Red Cow at 3624 West 50th Street. And I will note that although Council Member Palmisano is not on this particular committee, she still is here to listen to all of the feedback, and I know she's been working diligently on the topic. Mr. Wilson, you got this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We do have an application by Black Diamond, Double Black Diamond Incorporated, doing business as the Red Cow Restaurant. They are located at 3624 West 50th Street. They have operated for the past 3 years with as a restaurant with an on-sale wine and strong beer license, and they are seeking to upgrade that to an on-sale liquor license. They are not seeking any entertainment classes with this license. Historically, this was a Blockbuster Video store and West 50th and Chowan. And in 2012, the Red Cow obtained their restaurant license with wine and strong beer. They have an off-street parking requirement that's existing. The zoning